One of the things I have heard over and over and over again during my years of practice is people are like, "Can I just take you home?" Which no one would want, by the way, ask my husband. But they're like, "I just wish that I could hear what you just said, how you just explained that. I wish that I could feel as motivated tomorrow as I do in your visit right now." And so people do that by booking appointments, by checking in once a month. I have so many beautiful, loyal, committed patients that do that. And that's amazing. But I can't do that with everyone, and they still can't take me home. Right. So, this is giving you that opportunity to have daily, consistent motivation for people who want to change their lives for good.
Welcome to the Advanced Women's Health Podcast, where we empower women with the latest insights and advice on holistic health. From cutting-edge medical research to practical wellness tips, our mission is to help you thrive at every stage of life. Join us as we explore topics ranging from hormonal balance and reproductive health to nutrition and mental well-being. Whether you're seeking solutions for a specific health concern or simply want to enhance your overall wellness, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this journey to better health together. This is the Advanced Women's Health Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's episode. I am excited to do another solo episode for you guys on what's new, upcoming for 2026, and also diving into just a lot of the questions that I get asked on a regular basis. I like to intermittently come in here and just be able to kind of riff on things and what I'm seeing happening and what you guys can come to be excited about within the advanced women's health ecosystem over the next little while. So, for many of you, January 1st is New Year's, resolutions, all those types of things. And I always say I'm a girl who loves a reset. Every day is a reset opportunity for me. And I love, though, intentional starts. So, intentional restart, kids go back to school after what seems like 20 million years of a break. As someone who has a 3 and a 6-year-old, and that is how it feels some days. But getting back to that intentional restart also happens for me in September, where you're looking at things, you're setting goals, you're planning out what your year is going to be. And fundamentally, I hope for a lot of people, you're just feeling really hopeful and really excited. And one of the activities that I do every year, I actually post about it on social and I got a lot of questions about it, but is I make my phone background my goals for the year. So we're always on our phones, right? Like we are consistently in an environment where we are seeing things and taking things in. And so for me, I've chosen to take in quotes and things as my wallpaper and then also the background on my phone as my actual goals. So it is my vision board for the year. It is what I want to accomplish. So anyways, this year I put myself in all the pictures. So I used AI and pictures of myself and what my vision board picture would have been, and had made the vision board picture of me. It was crazy. Lots of fun. But anyways, within that, one of the things that I have had on my vision board or my goals board or whatever you want to call it for a number of years now is just consistently making healthcare an experience. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it's because I believe it deeply that you if you have one appointment, it doesn't matter who the practitioner is. If you have one appointment, change has not been made. You may feel inspired, you may feel connected, you may feel motivated, you may feel like you are in the right hands, in the right place. These are all things we want you to feel. But that's not the moment that you get the result. And so what happens in spaces between appointments is that you go back into your regular life with people around you, friends, family, they haven't changed necessarily. And so when I think that's why people like New Year's is because a lot of the people around you are changing at the same time and they're really setting these goals. And so you feel aligned with those people. But going to an appointment is not actually the thing that is motivating you to get to the end result. And so I have realized this from the start of my practice. It has been something that I really have tried to curate. And honestly, I'm extremely fortunate. I get very busy very quickly in practice. And with that, I only had so many resources and so much bandwidth to actually roll out these things. So when I started Advanced Women's Health, I guess 6 years ago now, 6 years almost, we were in this position where I was like, okay, I want to do this different and I want to create these experiences within healthcare. Well, then COVID hit. We opened March, just closed March 15th of 2020. And so with that, that obviously put a pause and I thought differently in that way. We scaled through telemedicine, then obviously rolled out a bajillion clinics, learned a ton in that process because it was never this super intentional growth, right? It was very much me following opportunity and intuition. And so last year was a year that we could really sit down and I was like, hey, we need to pause on the growth. We want to be excellent. I want patient care to be excellent. So last year we rolled out, we had a wellness coach who came in and she rolled out nutrition mapping. So just like the fundamentals of nutrition. Every new patient who walked in the door could come to a live call to educate them on the fundamentals of advanced women's health style nutrition for free. We rolled out what we call our goal mapping or wellness mapping. So this goes through how to deal with change, right? How to set goals, how to achieve goals, how to structure your day, your week to set up these goals, how to overcome the challenges that come up. Touched slightly on the mindset piece. We rolled out those things again, free for patients who came in. We rolled out kickoff calls, which is just this opportunity to again curate things. And so we started to put all the puzzle pieces together. So in fall of 2024, I also launched the Advanced Women's Health. So this is a membership site where you get education, you get challenges. Many of you will remember our the infamous challenge of 2025 in the summer. I giggle because externally and internally it was a ton of fun, but the system was set up so that you got points for commenting on things in a way we didn't expect. So it was a wellness challenge that became a commenting challenge. Anyways, I came very close to winning. So, yes, I am that person. I am very competitive in all environments, but we do things like that. So we do challenges, we have meal planning, we have all of these different resources. And so to me, I was like, we can't as naturopathic doctors block bill for things. I also think for a lot of people, block billing for programs, meaning you have to pay up front, is cost prohibitive, right? You're in this situation where you're like, I would love to do that. I just can't afford it. And so one of the pieces that I decided for this year, which is going to be so phenomenal, and I'm so excited, is to finally roll out this handheld onboarding experience. And so, what we're going to be doing is instead of raising our initial prices, like prices for our initial visits right out the gate, we are adding on an onboarding fee. So, this nominal, it's like $27, right? Onboarding fee is now going to unlock that onboarding experience that honestly people would pay thousands of dollars for in other groups. People would probably not even access it in other groups because here's what it is. So what we are doing is every day, people for the first 30 or 45 days, depending on the stream you go down, you get an audio. And so you get education, you get motivation, you get tips, you get tricks. Why? Because as adults, we are over effing whelmed already. And so you want to get healthy. The reality is you want to get healthy. You're coming, you're spending your money, you're putting your heart on the line. You are being vulnerable enough to say, I want to be, do, or have something different. And that takes a lot of courage. And so you're coming in for your appointment and you're admitting those things. You're doing this in take form. You're serious. This is your year. You're going to have more energy. You're going to balance your hormones. You're going to make a baby. You're going to lose weight. You're finally going to be out of pain. You are not going to let endometriosis or hypothyroidism or an autoimmune condition, insert everything else, acne, right, define you. This is going to be your year, right? You're feeling it. You're so excited. And so what needs to happen is you need consistent support in that goal. You need to consistently move forward. But if you get 10 or 18 pages, You know who I'm talking to, the people listening. Some of our docs love to give 20,000 page protocols. But if you get these like really long protocols, it can feel overwhelming. And you're like, where do I start? What do I do? I don't know how to tackle this. And then what do? When the confused mind kicks in, we shut down. We don't take action. We say, I don't know what to do next, which is a really great excuse to not move forward. We let all of our limiting beliefs come in and we sit there and we're like, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I'm not capable of change. So, what we are doing is we are actually letting people choose a path. So, you can choose 30 days of mindset, right? So, you're in a situation and you're like, I know what hormones are. I know what gluten and dairy is. I understand the gut microbiome. Like I'm pretty illiterate in the wellness world. I don't necessarily need someone to explain to me what the difference is in different types of inflammation. And so you would go down your mindset stream. These are fundamental principles that I use every freeing day to accomplish what I've accomplished, to be able to lose the weight I lost, to be able to overcome endometriosis and chronic pain. Like the fact that I could not lift an infant a couple of years ago, and I am now back doing progressive overload training is shocking to me, right? But this is what we're capable of. This is the health we're capable of. So if you're working on the fundamentals of health, you're going to go down that stream. If you're working on mindset, you're going to go down the mindset stream. And this is, again, small snippets, 15 minutes every day that you can pop in your ears when you're walking or at the gym, or you can when you're driving or cooking dinner or making breakfast or in the shower. I would not recommend earphones in the shower, actually, fact. But in any situation, you can use this to stay motivated. One of the things I have heard over and over and over again during my years of practice is people are like, can I just take you home? Which no one would want, by the way, ask my husband. But they're like, I just wish that I could hear what you just said, how you just explained that. I wish that I could feel as motivated tomorrow as I do in your visit right now. And so people do that by booking appointments, by checking in once a month. I have so many beautiful, loyal, committed patients that do that. And that's amazing. But I can't do that with everyone, and they still can't take me home. Right. So, this is giving you that opportunity to have daily, consistent motivation for people who want to change their lives for good. For good. This is key.
Today's episode is brought to you by none other than Advanced Women's Health. If you are interested in diving in deeper to your health, if you are finally ready to feel like yourself, and you are finally over hearing everything's normal, everything's fine, and you want a deeper dive into your healthcare, then we are here to help you. We are currently helping patients in British Columbia and Ontario, Canada. But don't worry, if you're in another province, still reach out, get added to the waitlist as we expand coast to coast. We cannot wait to work with you. Check out the show notes for more information on how to get started.
So then from there, people are going to choose one of 5 different meal systems. So this is an opportunity for people to get handheld nutrition information that is not like hardcore prescriptive, right? It will give you the exact meal plan, but it also gives you swaps. Here's opportunities to switch this out, but here's the thought process, right? Here's how to start. Here's where to start with food. Here's how to structure it, give you new recipe ideas, etc. Because that's the second thing we hear. So we hear, I don't know, I don't understand. People struggling with motivation and keeping themselves going. But then we hear like the practicalities of, I don't know how to cook healthy food. I don't know what would taste good. I don't know what combinations to use. And I always say we have 2 different systems. You have like a meal plan system, which is like, here's what to eat. Here's the macronutrient breakdown. Here's whatever you need. And then we have kind of this structure, right? So choose 2 servings of this, 1 serving of this, et cetera, et cetera. So we have that template built into that. People are going to be able to choose from like a low FODMAP digestion. And again, we don't want to be low FODMAP forever. If you do have to be low FODMAP, which is fermentable fibers, it's because you have a bacterial overgrowth. Those bugs need to die. But in any situation, We have low FODMAP, we have fertility and prenatal health, we have a general anti-inflammatory plan. Again, we're going to have low food insulin demand plan. And then we also have a perimenopause, menopause, high protein, balanced plan for bone health, metabolic health, brain health, etc. So you have all these different plans. So then you're going to get a customized meal system to get you started. Then we move into content, right? You move into a challenge with a group and we say, okay, take on education, how to balance your blood sugar, how to reduce your inflammation. Whatever that looks like, you're going to get that information tailored and tiered to you. And fundamentally, you're going to get community. So this is the programming that I have wanted for people for so long. And I am so excited to be able to offer it. Like I said, at such a low rate. That rate may change. If you're listening to this 3 years into the future, that rate may change. But we are setting up these systems for success. And then what's also coming as we move through that is we are going to be adding different streams of movement in 2026. So depending on when you're joining, you're going to get access to either a Pilates style, really focused on form, really focused on, again, strength. I always say, as much as progressive overload changes my muscles on a consistent basis, I did a year of reformer and Pilates before I got to this place to focus on my core, my form, activating muscles. And even still with that, it's hard. So we have two streams focusing on postural stability, core activating small muscle groups, or that big muscle mass gaining movement. And so again, all of these things by probably the end of Q1 or the first couple of months of 2026, all of these things are going to be combined into the Advanced Women's Health membership, which is $27 a month. So we are trying to make health so scalable and so sustainable and just this opportunity where people can come. Because this is what we hear all the time. I'm seeing a personal trainer and they told me to eat in this way, and you're telling me to eat in this way, and I'm overwhelmed. Or I am seeing all this information about how I should be eating for digestion. What's your perspective? Well, there's a course on it and there's an outline on that. Or I just need someone to help me with accountability and motivation. And right now I am paying coaches and personal trainers and all these things hundreds of dollars a month. Like some of my patients spend hundreds of dollars a month to keep them accountable. And don't get me wrong, I love those things. I have many of them in my life, and they're not an expense. They're an asset and an investment in my health. So I don't mind spending them. But not everyone has that option, right? Not everyone has the ability to have these things. And if they are helping you understand how to do movement, correcting your form, correcting your mindset, really coaching you and laser coaching you, then that is a fundamental way to get started. It's a phenomenal way to get started, but you can also maintain in different ways. So, this is the year of really integrating and onboarding. We also have programming we've launched this year that are collaborative programs. So, these are programs that are in person movement based and also small group container 6-week accelerators. And so, those are things that we are going to be consistently rolling out over the course of the year because health can be wildly affordable. It can be approachable. It can be something that you can achieve. And honestly, I've heard from so many people in the last few years that have goals to get healthy and they feel like they are the last person who is able to achieve. And that breaks my heart because I always say, like, I'm in a very luxurious position because I get to see people's hardest days and I get to see people's motivation changes and I get to see what is preventing them from reaching their goals and helping them succeed. But I also get to see the insane transformations that so many of you feel are not possible. I get to see people go from similar to me, chronic pain to moving their body. I get to see people with digestive issues that prevent them from living their life to very stable, predictable digestion. I get to see people who can't function in their business for 2 weeks of the month because of hormonal health issues, go to thriving and scaling their businesses in a huge way. I get to see people go from stressed and burnt out and overwhelmed to feeling like their life is integrated with purpose and moving forward. And that is so important to see. I have so many patients that I have told, do not proceed past go in the support groups on Facebook. It's not that they don't serve a purpose, but there are very few people coming on there to share their wins, to share what they're excited about. These are oftentimes spaces where people are coming on complaining, worrying, terrified, and they are not doing well. And I deeply appreciate that a space to vent can be helpful. But those places can be really hard if you're immersed in them, where you're constantly seeing that people aren't getting better and they're struggling. Because that's the story you can take on for yourself to speak of the mindset stuff I talked about earlier. But if you see everyone around you succeeding, it can be so powerful. This is why masterminds are so powerful. So, for those of you who don't know, mastermind groups are groups of people who the intention is to have aligned goals. We often see them show up in a business context where people come, they support each other, they hold each other accountable. There's one person who's often coaching in those environments, but sometimes it's just peers who sit together. It's accountability, it's structure, it's support, but it's also belief. It's seeing other people go for it and really put their all into it, to something, to see what they're capable of. And also feeling so confident that if they have a bad day, if they have a bad week, if they're struggling, that there's other people around them to build them up. And that is what I want to create. I have seen so many of these programs pop up, and they're great in a lot of ways, but they're fragmented in a lot of ways. And my patients, you guys, we don't have time to go to 20,000 apps, let alone the fact that even myself, like, I have multiple of these different apps that I'm paying 20 to 50 bucks a month for, that are giving me different resources and tools. And that's wonderful. And I love that. And I'm not saying we're going to be the Walmart of apps, because nobody likes that. But I do think that we need to be able to integrate a women's health experience. We need to go from appointment to mindset to actionable strategies to meal planning and timing, all the way through to movement, and that we can do that. So that's what's coming for 2026. It is so exciting to me to be able to finally create this space where health happens in a completely different way than you're going to see in a lot of other clinics and spaces. And it is so exciting for me to see excellence achieved in a healthcare experience. One of my goals, right, and one of my values is the constant pursuit of excellence for myself, right? People always ask me what my goals are for the business, what I'm going to do, etc. And I'm like, I just want to see what I'm capable of. That's like who I am as a person. I'm like, I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to go out of this world knowing that I put everything out there and I did everything I could. And so I don't know exactly what my goal is, but I know my goal is to pursue excellence in natural healthcare and integrative healthcare and functional healthcare for women. I know my goal is to change how we view healthcare and how we view our bodies. I know my goal is to give women back the keys to their body. You should never feel like you can't get good answers by trusting your intuition. You should never feel like your health and information about your body is gate kept. Like, we are still in a world where people, if they ask for a second opinion, can be discharged from care. We are still in a world where I'll ask someone about their blood markers and they're like, I don't know, my doctor wouldn't run testing, or this person wouldn't run testing, or they said it wasn't indicated. We are still in a world where when you say you don't feel great, that is accepted as normal. I'm tired. Well, everyone's tired. Not everyone's tired. I have moments that I'm tired, but I wouldn't describe myself as a tired person, right? But all of these things are possible. We still live in a world where I was in chronic pain and have large endometriomas in the past, or have had in the past. And I went to my healthcare team and asked for an ultrasound because I felt like my pain could be related to endo, and they said no, right? And we also live in a world where I didn't care that I got that answer. I found a route. I figured out what I needed to do. But not everyone is going to be in a position where they can blaze that path or know the resources or know the teams around them. And so this is our goal, is to create those things for you. So I know it's a short episode, but I hope you feel motivated. I hope you feel inspired. 2026 is absolutely your year, right? And you can absolutely be in a position where you feel supported and capable. And I am just so excited for you to feel that and to go on that journey and get everything you want. So DM me your goals for the year. Let me know what you're excited about. If you could design your ideal healthcare experience, what would you want in it? What do you want to see from this podcast, from Advanced Women's Health? Send me a message. I am always here to receive them. But fundamentally, I hope you have the most beautiful start to your year. 2026 is in, 2025 is gone. Thank goodness. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys in our next couple of episodes.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you had as much fun as we did. And if you loved today's episode, share it with a friend and leave us a review. That is how we spread this message, and that is how we are going to revolutionize healthcare in Canada for women. Have a beautiful day and be well.